Hey Don, I'm going to go through this step by step, and again, I understand some of the problem that you're having is because you're on a PC rather than a Mac, but hopefully this will help. If not, let me know and I can do another brief demo. And don't ever feel like you have to tough it out or beat your head against a brick wall. If you come to a step in the process that you don't understand or you can't get accomplished, just let me know and I'll do a demo. All right, here we go. So I am in our exercise making and refining a selection on page 196. So with the polygonal or the polygonal, however you pronounce that, lasso tool, we're going to draw a shape that covers the left window pane. So I think that I might have the magnetic lasso rather than the polygonal. I'll take a look at this. I'm going to do a select and deselect, and I'm going to go back here. For some reason I'm not able to pull up the lasso tool like or the other lasso tools that I would like to have. I don't know what's the deal here. I'll be right back. Well, I've tried a couple of different things, and without making a huge, long, having to restart it and redo my preferences and so forth, I can't seem to get the lasso tool that they're asking for. Hopefully you're not having that trouble. But they want the polygonal. I've got the magnetic lasso, and I am just going to create this selection. It says to select the window pane. And the window pane is selected. Now it wants us to select the magic wand. And then we are to set the tolerance to about 15 in the options panel. So if you look up here, the tolerance is currently at 30. We're going to set it to 15. Now we're going to hold down the Option if you're on a Mac, but since you're on a PC, you're going to hold down the Alt key, and we're going to click inside the lamp area to deselect as much of it as we can. So again, if you're on a Mac, we're going to hold down the Option. If you're on a PC or Windows, you're going to hold down the Alt, and then we're going to click in here. Oh, this is silly. I would never do this selection this way. Look at how many times I've got my magic wand selected, and that's not working. So then we're supposed to go to Edit in Quick Mask mode in the Tools panel. So we're going to go over here to the Tools panel, and we're going to go down to the bottom, and we are going to click on the Edit in Quick Mask. And you'll see that turns to green, or to green, yeah, to red. So we want to select the brush tool and choose a hard brush and set the brush to 100% in the options bar. So we're going to go down here and select a brush. And I'm going to go back here because I think that number one, after we get the magnetic lasso, and then once we get the magic wand set up, I believe that I was clicking out here in the magic wand rather than inside the lamp, which is where I should have been clicking. So the tolerance is at 15. I'm going to try that again, actually selecting inside the magic wand, or inside the lamp. And see, that is actually where we're supposed to be selecting. Sorry about that. I was thinking it was the window that we were getting rid of. But anyway, now that again that we have most of that selected, we're going to edit in quick mask mode. We are going to go up here and we're going to get a brush. So you're going to go to the Tools panel and select a brush. And then with the brush, we want to make sure it's a hard brush with about 9 pixels in diameter. So we're going to look here. This is the right size. And the way I determine the hardness would be to, hopefully, all right, so the hardness there, I just selected on one of the 10 pixel brushes in my little library down here. It's a 10 pixel flat. I'm going to change that to 9 pixels. I'm going to hit the tab and I'm going to make sure that it's at 100% hard. And then you want to go down here and make sure again in the toolbox, at the bottom of the toolbox, I'll close this up so you can see it. At the bottom of the toolbox, you want to make sure that that's black is in the foreground tool color, which it is. And then we're going to subtract from the selection by painting over the entire lamp. So by painting over the entire lamp, we are going to subtract from this selection. I'm going to have to zoom in so I can see what I just did. And see all of this that is still kind of selected or is still colored rather than red. I'm going to go over that with my brush. And I'm going to finish doing this on my own, so I'm not taking up all the video time, but I'll be back in just a moment. Now I do want to mention that you can change, now you see as I get down here to the edge, I might want to change my lamp, might want to change the brush size as we get to the edge here. And again, the way that you do that is you select either the left or right bracket keys. And you'll see as I select the left bracket, that makes it smaller. Wow, I should have some music going or something. Can you hear the raindrops on my windows? Oh. And then in order to make that bigger so I can take some of this out, I do the right bracket. And so now that's a much bigger brush that I can go over some of these wide expanses that I want to cover more quickly. Now the textbook doesn't tell you this, but I know it. So if I wanted to include this in my selection, and you see I've got it red now, which means it's not selected. If I wanted to include that in my selection, all I have to do is change the color, set the foreground color as white, and then you'll see that I can then get rid of that red, which means that that's no longer selected. And I am going to be right back so I can get this finished again without taking up so much of your time. Okay, Don, after we have that selected, and again, that's a little bit of a sloppy selection, and I apologize for that, but I wanted to do it a little bit more quickly than I would do if I were doing this for a job. But then after you have, let's see, I can see that's not something I want selected there. So again, remember, if I want to deselect it, like that little piece of red right there that goes into the tree in the background, I would just change my foreground color to white, and then I would come over here and just take away that red. All right, so once you've got it to where you're comfortable with it, then we're going to click on the Quick Mask mode at the bottom of the toolbox. And now you'll see that what you actually have selected. I'm going to zoom out so you can see what I have selected. which I would go in and I would refine it. For example, see these tiny little selections here? I would make sure I had those all selected. So let's go back into quick mask mode, and we're going to make sure that the black is at the foreground because I want to add to this selection. And then I'm just going to paint over there some as well to make sure that that's selected. Going to get out of that quick mask mode again by clicking on edit in standard mode. And that's a little bit better in terms of what it is I'm looking to have selected. Then once we've exited the quick mask mode, once we're satisfied with our selection, we're going to choose select, and we're going to do a save selection. And we are going to name this new selection window mask. We want a channel new, and we are going to call this window mask. And click OK. And then we're going to save our file in our lessons folder. So we're going to do a file and we're going to save. Make sure that it went into the lessons folder. All right, now once that's done, I'm going over to page 198. We're going to create a layers mask. So in the layers panel, we're going to highlight the window layer. So we want to go over here and make sure that the window layer is highlighted. And our windows should still be selected. And actually, I'm going to select this other window as well, because if I read that, I totally missed it. But the only thing I needed to do to add to that selection to make sure that I have the other window selected as well is just click and hold down my shift, and then I've got them both selected. Now, just because I know I want both of those window panes selected, I'm going to go back up here under select, and I'm going to save selection, and I'm going to call this window 2 selection. Make that a new channel and click OK. And then we're going to go to layer, layer mask, and hide selection. So we're going to go, and again we have this selected. We're going to go up under layer, layer mask, and we are going to hide selection, which is exactly what we want it to do, right? Now we're going to go to File, and we're going to click Open. And from our files, sample files, we're going to look for Lake. Well, actually, it's right here on the bottom, Lake PSD, and we're going to click Open. We're going to select the entire image, which is Command or Control if you're on a Mac or on a PC. A, that selects everything. Command or Control A, that selects everything. And then we are going to copy it, which is Command if you're on a Mac, Control if you're on a PC, C, Control C. And then we are going to toggle back to the lesson file, and we're going to do that by clicking on this name. And we're going to go up under Edit, and we're going to go to Paste. And you'll see that indeed that new image is pasted onto the new file. Now the reason why we don't see this little lamp here is the mask that we just created is because this layer is on top of the layer. So all you have to do is click and drag this layer below it, and there you go. That's exactly what we're looking for. So hopefully, well, actually, I could reposition this a little bit, I think, if I just get my... I don't exactly either. Either I don't have the same photo or I just don't have it positioned like they've got it positioned. I can move this over a little bit, see if that's what it is. I don't think so. I'm just going to leave it kind of as it is. I like that there. But basically that is the lesson. If you have any questions, Don, again, please don't hesitate to ask me for another demo. I am happy to do it. Thank you.